Hi, have you ever wondered if the people that you associate yourself with are sociopaths or psychopaths? I wonder this all the time, and I'm always trying to diagnose people with this, which is not right, but that's where my mind goes because I listen to so much true crime and watch so much true crime. So I have decided to do the research to find out what the actual traits of a psychopath or sociopath are. And in my research, the first thing that I found out is that's not an actual term that people are diagnosed with. The actual term is antisocial personality disorder. And so I went on to study antisocial personality disorder, and my main source is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. So I'm reading that, and that is where all of my research has come from. If you have things to add, please add them into the comments below. If you've ever experienced anything like this or experienced dealing with somebody like this, please share that with me if you're willing to share that with me. I think it's incredibly interesting, and I'd love to know how you actually dealt with it. So here are some traits you can look for when trying to maybe disassociate yourself with somebody with antisocial personality disorder. So first things first is you cannot be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder unless you're 18 years old and have a history of conduct disorder in your youth. So they will not diagnose you unless you're 18 years old and you have a history of causing a lot of problems when you were younger. Conduct disorder is a disorder in which you are constantly hurting people or animals, you destroy property, you are deceitful, or you just violate rules all the time. So that is something that the youth would face. So one of the patterns of antisocial personality disorder is that you fail to conform to social norms. You destroy things. You are always doing things that could potentially get you arrested, whether or not you're getting arrested, destroying property, hurting others, that kind of stuff. And then what goes along with that is they disregard people's feelings. They don't care what you think, and they will do whatever they can to kind of get out of being blamed for that. They're super deceitful. So yeah, they may have been causing a lot of problems because they're breaking laws and hurting people, but they'll also be super deceitful to try to get their way. So they'll frequently lie or con people or malinger fake illnesses to kind of get sympathy from others. That's a super common trait. They are super impulsive. They will do things without any forethought. They'll quit jobs. They tend to hop from job to job to job just because they aren't thinking and rationalizing through things. They just jump to doing whatever they want to do in that moment. Many of them tend to get very irritable or aggressive or will continuously hurt people. And it's not always hurting, but it can just be irritability. They may also show a reckless disregard for themselves, will speed, have a lot of sexual relationships, not caring about the results or the consequences of those actions. People with antisocial personality disorder, they tend to be consistently irresponsible. For instance, they may jump from job to job or just have periods of complete unemployment. This can include just paying debts, maybe child support or just your bills, things like that. They tend to show little remorse for the consequences to their actions. They will blame the person that they've hurt, like, they deserved it because they did this. They will make up some superficial rationalization as to why it was okay for them to be reckless or hurt somebody, and they just are constantly kind of making excuses for themselves. They also tend to believe that everybody thinks like them, that everybody is out to help number one. They think that if you're working with an animal shelter, which is something that I enjoy doing, that you're doing it just to look better rather than for the care of the animals, which is really sad. They tend to lack empathy. So they're callous and they feel like the sufferings of others are just they don't matter. They tend to be pretty arrogant and think that their way is the way. They praise themselves and think that what they do is the best thing that there is to do. So they tend to spew their opinion as fact and won't hear others, and will argue and argue and argue their opinion to be fact, because they are so self-assured and cocky about it. And what goes along with that is they tend to be kind of insincere. They're smooth talkers. They'll make you feel really, really good about yourselves, but they're not really sincere in their goal there, which could be super manipulative. So they'll make you feel really, really great about yourself just for their self-gain. And it may be that you have money that they want to attach themselves, or it may be a sexual thing that they may want to attach themselves with. And so their goal there with that superficial charm is to just try to woo you in order for their own gain. And many of them tend to be really irresponsible as parents. So many of them will complain about being super depressed because they are bored, or they'll complain of tension headaches because they're just not entertained the way that they would like to be. There are some other disorders that are often associated with antisocial personality disorder. One of them is narcissistic personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. So those are two common disorders that kind of sometimes get meshed in with the antisocial personality disorder. The sad thing is that a child that is dealing with conduct disorder, which often leads to antisocial personality disorder, if they are abused or neglected as a child, the likelihood that that conduct disorder will develop into antisocial personality disorder is a lot higher, which is really sad. So some things that I learned that I think are important to keep in mind is if a person is suffering from a substance-related disorder, they will not be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. It's the substance disorder that they'll need to resolve first. If it seems like antisocial personality disorder is showing up in a time of schizophrenia or during a manic episode, it will also not be diagnosed as antisocial personality disorder. Something I had to keep in mind when I was researching this is antisocial personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder have a lot of the same tendencies. And so you have to be really careful that you're not trying to call a narcissist somebody with antisocial personality disorder. It's really, really important because they are two different things and they do have different treatments. I think I'm going to do another video comparing the difference between narcissistic personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder and kind of show you the traits that are similar but also the traits that are different. If that's something you're interested in, please comment below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. Please subscribe. If you have other ideas or things that you've wanted to learn about in regards to true crime or ways to kind of help you become more prepared and more able to avoid situations like that, please share them below. I really, really, really want to try to do what I can to help us kind of, be better prepared as people. Also, again, share your stories with me. You can send me private messages, you can comment below. Please share your stories with me. I am so interested, or share your fears with me. I have so many fears that I've developed from listening to all this stuff, but I also feel like it's made me just much more aware and much more able to handle life. So please share any of your thoughts with me. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Let's stop a murder.